Oh boy, when we think about how I feel and where it comes from, most human beings fall into, I'm feeling this because of what you did or didn't do, or you said or didn't say, or whatever, because of something else that happened out there. That's a start, but that's far from getting to the source of it. Because again, we're not getting to the source of that particular interpretation that I give to it. Because we're seeing it as happening to me, and I'm powerless. But I could say when somebody acts in a certain way I don't like, I could say to myself, I could see this differently. I could see that that person is somebody who feels insecure, and they're just not acting in a loving way because they don't know how to, because maybe they didn't have that themselves. And so if I could just send them a thought in my mind and hold that energy, I send them healing love and compassion, that their littleness will heal, that they're not going to be desperately trying to withhold it because they might lose it. But if they can pick up the energy of being cared about and understood and loved, they're more likely to be able to be that themselves. And then I'll feel that energy from them too. But that's a way of owning our own power that mostly we don't do in our culture. We mostly see ourselves at the effect of others, effect of circumstances, and what's going on in the world. And we don't see that if I can change my thoughts about it rather than feeling like a victim, if I can change my thoughts about it, then I'm changing how I feel, I'm changing how I interpret it, I'm changing the results of it. In the sense, I'm changing my whole life when I take back my power that way. And most of us in our culture aren't trained to know how to do that. But the good news is the new tools in psychotherapy are very much helpful for us to identify what was that programming when I was a little kid, in those preschool years, or what I might have even felt in the womb, or what might have been brought on genetically from other ancestors, and what I want to keep. And there are tools we can use where we can deactivate the parts we don't want to keep. And we can install images or beliefs or behaviors or attitudes that we want to program into my way of being in the world now that help to create a different world. And so then I'm moving away from the status of being a victim of the world I see to seeing, no, I'm the one who's creating my world. Like one of the top physicists who influenced my life considerably was David Bohm from the University of London. And one quote that I just love from him that reminds me of all that, he says, "Thought creates the world." And then it says, "I didn't do it." And what that top scientist is seeing, we are not realizing how powerful our thoughts are as acts of creation that are based on our own programming. And we think it's happening to us, rather than seeing I can take back my power by changing the way I'm interpreting everything and seeing it and reacting. And then I attract totally different outcomes myself. Then I'm no longer the powerless victim.